Alright, what is up, people? Today we're going to be doing front brake pads and rotors on this RAV4. I'll make sure to include the correct generation years for this car in the title and the parts in the description. So let's get straight to it. So gonna go ahead and take out the wheel. This wheel was bolted up by these spline lug nuts. I don't know if yours is going to be the same, but I'm pretty sure not. So first off, we have these 14 millimeters, but before we do any of that, I'm gonna stick a screwdriver here. I'm gonna use that as leverage to push the brake piston back all the way. Doesn't get pushed more than that. So I'm gonna grab this. Get a 14 millimeter. Okay, I have this feeling it's gonna happen. Alright. So if that doesn't come out, you can either get a vice grip or you can simply just do this. It makes your life a whole lot easier. Alright, so you don't need to take these out with hand, so they come out easily. So as you notice, the top hardware is bigger than the lower hardware, so that's actually pretty important because the way that these pads slide in and out on the rails matters, because the shape over here is a little different than the shape over there. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna take this out and we're gonna grab big impact, get a swivel 17. Now you don't have to do any of this, you can just get a ratchet like this and a 17 millimeter socket, but this makes my life a lot easier. All right. So, take out this and then grab this, something like that. Or if you have a hand brush, you can definitely do it, but it'll make my life easier. Go at it faster. A lot better. Now, as I said, the smaller ones go on the bottom and the open end right here goes on the outside. Make sure you put the right side first, the outer side first, and then the inner side. Cool. Great. Alright. Same thing with this one. And this one can only be done here. Probably. Ah, there we go. Alright. Part 2. As far as brushing stuff off, I'm gonna brush all the rust that's here. Now, if you live in the Rust Belt state, you're gonna go at this for a while. Should be good enough. All right, let's use this. Now make sure you spray some brake cleaner. I ran out of brake cleaner, but luckily those don't really have any preservative oil, so that's good for me right now. you don't want this keep going back and forth, you can just put a lug nut. Got it. Cool. All right, so part 3 is lubricating these. Make sure they go back into their specific spot, because one of them has a boot and the other one doesn't. Alright, obviously the other one's right here. Oops, gotta wipe it off. Cool. Alright, let's put this right here. And there's a couple of things I gotta bring to your attention. Try to wire wheel these bolts a little bit so we can use thread locker. You don't need to wire them. Okay, just small beads. Alright. Cool. Other one, as I said, you don't really have to wire wheel it. If you can, go ahead. Okay, looks good. All right, comes this part. Oops. All right. So this goes outside right here. Might be a little annoying depending on the quality of the brake hardware that you buy. Come on. Damn it. Here we go. This one needs a little passion. You know, still walks back and forth, but it's way too freaking. Not too tight, actually. Anyways, I don't know how proper that grip is, but it looks okay. The rear one, you gotta be careful. I can't really show you on camera everything. All right, looks like it clicked in. Cool. Now my question is this gonna fit down properly? And of course it's not. So what we are gonna do is use my broken brake piston compressor for a slight compression over here. The thing with these is if the brake fluid cap is closed, it will compress itself back just a little bit, which is okay. You don't need to go through the hassle of opening the engine bay and going through all that. Okay, it looks like I didn't do it enough. you see something like this, you're gonna need to air it out. Even though there's a lot of holes in here, you still might need to air it out. Alright. Since the top one didn't want to come off, who cares? Alright. That's enough. Alright. Now I have a feeling I might have over tightened the lower one, but let's see if it's solid. Oh yeah, this one just spinning in place. Right. Cool. I am worried a little bit about this one, but I know it's not going anywhere. I probably will just use some vice grips off camera and make sure that it's tight, but generally I showed you that you don't have to take out both. You can just take one. All right, we'll go ahead and put the wheel after I get a vice grip and make sure this is tight. All right, so you guys can see right here. All right, just tighten it a little bit more, so we're good. Stuff away from here. Put this wheel back. All right. Why do I only have 4? Yeah, I'll find it. Alright, where's number 5? I could have swore I didn't kick that one. Huh. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Now what we want to do is you want to pump your brakes. Cool. Alright, you want to pump them until the thing gets hard, which did get hard right away. I know it makes that stupid ass noise, but it is what it is. Now here's the deal, I'm not going to show you this on camera. In order to break the rotors in, you have to drive 60 miles an hour, brake harshly to 30 miles an hour 3 times, and another 3 times 50 to 20. So basically 60 to 30 harsh braking 3 times, and then 50 to 20 moderate braking 3 times. And you drive the car for 20 minutes, and you cannot stop during this whole entire procedure. Now you're like, well, where can I do this? I don't know, in the country near crop fields, whatever you can do it. Don't stop, roll your stop signs, try not to be around stoplights, because what will happen is if you stop anytime before you were done with the 20-minute cooling period, after you've done the brake procedure, there's a chance that your rotors might be warped or might get warped from uneven bedding in. So told you what I had to tell you. So if you have any questions for this installation, please let me know. See you later.